very good morning, good afternoon, good evening for the people from the different places you might be joining or you will be seeing on the YouTube later. I quickly welcome you all in the 13th edition of our summit, RISE PECOWorld Summit, which is focused on the co-own the change. And we invite to move beyond the conversations and towards the shared responsibility for future we want to create. Across 5 days, we had a different workshop, roundtables with the different partner, entrepreneurs, citizen, and we built a lots of people community to transform the ideas of collaboration, commitment, and collective action. So welcome in this workshop, which is named as a CityZen, co-creating our blue-green city. So today the idea is to basically explore a simple yet powerful action that can friendship change the city. As city grows and environmental challenges become more visible, creating healthy urban spaces is no longer the responsibility of planners and government alone, right? So the blue-green cities integrate the water, nature, and community well-being into everyday urban life. So these workshops invite us to think beyond the infrastructure and discover how collaboration, shared ownership, and the strong community relationship can transform our neighborhood into resilient, sustainable, and thriving ecosystems. So together, let's reimagine what it means to co-create the cities we want to live in. So I welcome our speakers, Ajay Nayak, who is an architect, environmental practitioner, and the environmental educator working in the sustainability space, interaction of the design, ecology, and society. He is also a founding member of Water Environments, which focuses on river and water ecosystem. And then we have with us Kemya Kalushkar, who is an architect, educator, and sustainability expert with over a decade of experience in design, research, and environmental planning, and the founding member of Water Environments and the partner at Eden. And then we have with us Vikram Pawaji, who is an urban conservation architect, educator, and environmental advocate with more than 20 years of professional experience and the co-founder of Water Environments and the director of SAHEC. So I welcome you all guys on board and the stage is yours.
Hi, a very good afternoon, everybody. I'm just taking the lead on this one before Kimay and Vikram join. Thank you to Karen, Amit, Anjali, who have helped us and brought us on board out here. It's an honor and to be part of a network which is about bringing everybody together. I pick up on today morning session, which talked about shared, use the word shared. And I think that's essential because somewhere along the line, we use a lot of terms in our everyday professional lives. And as did the introductions which cited our work in, but we often forget where we come from and where we are today because of that. And the people who gathered with us to bring us where we are. And especially in the social sector, the ownership is what is the place that we really suffer and we fall back on. And somewhere along the line, you find that the people who stick by you in that journey are the ones that make it happen. And you realize that it's happened because of something called friendship. And we never really give that much credit to it. We keep talking about ourselves as architects and social scientists, etc. But it happens because of friendships. And that's what I think Kimaya, myself, and Vikram are together today. 15 years hasn't been easy of working together. There are days that we want to just walk away from it. But so the question when we, I think in the larger plan of PECO RISE, what has been interesting to see is that today is about, I think, not technical, but maybe a little personal, because I think the question asked beyond me to ours in the morning session, which was whose planet is it anyway? It is ours. And when you use the word ours, it's relationships and not just how you tackle a problem. And that's what we hope to achieve in today's session, that how do we look beyond a professional circle to make things happen? And with that, I bring on Kimaya and Vikram to also, because as my friends, and we said that today we'll introduce ourselves and we want this to be interactive. And because I see a lot of friends in the audiences too. And the idea is we introduce ourselves not as professionals alone, but as citizens. Because as people, what difference can we make? And I think that's the idea behind today's session. Keep it interactive, keep it open. Let's shoot the questions. We've structured today, it's not just open-ended, there is a structure, but we thought that we will keep it open enough for people to add rather than it being a one-way traffic. So with that, yes, my introduction is I'm a friend of Kimaya's and Vikram's, to start with, and Amit and many others. But besides being all the things that I've been told I am as an architect, etc. But what I bring to the table is, I think, over the last 15 years of journey of working on with environment is learning. I think the climate change we keep talking about, I think we have changed always also. And learning to accept change has been, I think, my principal contribution to our collective movement forward, our shared movement forward. So yeah, over to you, Kimai.
Hello, everyone. So thank you, Amit and the team, for inviting us. For me, I am friend of Ajay and Vikram, working with them since 2010 on rivers. But I also want to introduce Kirti ji and Neeta, who are the two mentors that I met in my journey and learned a lot. So it's the INHAV Foundation, an organization which gave us the seed fund, which actually started our journey in terms of trying to make more collaborations, looking at the projects, the possibilities, what can happen. So the discussion that started between three friends then moved towards a larger group and then towards the city as well. Yeah. I think over to you, Vikram, to share your experience.
Hi, everyone. Um, Friends have always been a very important part of my life, and but there are many individual friends. There are so many of them. However, for this purpose, for this particular activity of rivers, I would like to name three of them. Uh, the first one who actually provided the platform for this conversation was Sprouts, which is led by Anand. Um, the second one, so this was in 2010. So 2010, we started our journey. So that was Sprouts offered that platform to us. The second one, of course, after around 2014, we came across a group of friends again who were very much into walking, nature walking and all. And they were doing plastic cleaning campaigns in the national park. So that group was, they later on, around 2014, called themselves as River March. Now that group has grown to call itself as Mumbai March. That is the second group of friends that we would like to mention over here. And the third and most recent is the Art of Living Foundation, which I have been very much a part since the past 1 year. And I'm coming across a lot of friends on that platform as well. So these are the three that I immediately come to mind, and that is part of our journey so far. Of course, before that, in 2016, there's also Frederick Ebert Stiftung, that is FES. They have also been very good friends, partners. Are we missing anybody, Ajay, on this?
I'm sure we are. I'm
Yeah.
sure we are.
We are
As it
missing
happens.
many, of course,
Yeah,
in our journey.
Yeah.
But prominently, these are the ones whom we have anchored and
the initial years,
Who
yes.
have
Yeah, we
anchored us,
anchored ourselves.
and yeah, I think who have
And
anchored
I
us, and
think
we have
we
anchored in a
keep
way.
we keep
Yeah.
going back to them, and they also,
and many
try and
more friends will come across in
follow
our
it up.
conversation
Yes.
And that's
as
what
we
today is
move.
about. So we did ask ourselves the question, why are we doing this today? Or rather, because we've also said always when it comes to a group, all three of us are backbenchers. We hate being in front and we rather be behind than doing it. And from that perspective came the thing that I think we are not activists for sure. We definitely want to see how to gather more people, because at the end of the day, I think the question Vikram raised yesterday when we were planning this thing was that we all collectively are able to make networks or start a network. A lot of startups, especially in the social space. But why do they fail? And sometimes they don't remain. So how do we strengthen that? And I think that's one of the key things we will address later today. But before that, we want to just get introduction, just get the feel of the this workshop room today is who's there. And I see Karen nodding, and I think with the nod, we'll take her on first. Just to introduce Karen as as a
As a
friend.
friend, yes,
Yes.
of course. And friends are those who complete your sentences.
Perfect.
So thank you very much. And well, I'm just here to be with my newfound friends, okay, and looking forward to learning more from them because I definitely want to be a citizen with all three of you. Thank you.
Perfect. Okay. Uh, may I request everybody, I don't know what, to put on your cameras so we all can see each other. I think we are lucky enough to not have too many people today in a way. So let's make the most of it. And can I request all to put on the cameras and because all have to introduce themselves so we know who we are working with today.
Maybe they can put it in the chat box because otherwise there are quite a few. If you go around, you might find yourself out of time.
No, so we planned it. As I said, the structure is that 20 minutes is for just
Fair enough.
making sure we get.
It's your round table.
So what we can do is actually the way we introduced ourselves to our friends and our journeys. I think everyone can take like a 2 minute or a 3 minute time. And if you want to just put it down, maybe in the chat box, and then we can pull out some, and then we can start a discussion. Will that work?
Okay, let's make it easier. I am a friend. Who am I? So let's play a game. Okay. Let's just shoot out what we think is me as a friend. What have I got to bring? I see Sonam. Come on, Sonam, shoot it.
Hi. Yes, okay. So I am Sonam. Ajay is a very dear friend. In fact, the first I am an architect also. So the first year of architecture, when we were, kind of introduced to what it really means or what big architecture practices and offerings really mean, one of the very first projects we did was because Ajay was a part of it. And that is how I know him. Kimia is also a friend in a way that we've never met, but I've read a lot about her. I've read The Coastal Life of Mumbai as a book. I've read things that she's written. And Vikram may not know this, or I don't know what, but one of his friends, who's Preeti Pansare, is a very dear friend of mine, and she used to be my dean at AIKTC when I used to teach there. And Anand also, who is Vikram's friend and Ajay's friend, I'm sure, and Kimya's friend also is a dear friend. So it's like a network of friends here. Karen has been a part of the circle since I think 1 year or so. My husband is working on her home. So it is a small world, really.
Seriously.
Nice. And Sonam, a little bit of local gyan. Do introduce that.
Right.
What does
Yes.
local
So I am,
gyan bring to the table?
yes, I am a co-founder of an idea or the concept called local gyan, where we've studied and analyzed the Indian curriculum, and we say that all of it is completely standardized with respect. Just a minute, huh? That all of it is completely standardized by people in Pune or Delhi, and you don't really like explore or understand your curriculum from your own city. So local Gyan says that let's convert the first to eighth standards of our CBSE, SSC, ICSE, IB, all kind of curriculums, and see what are the lessons that you can take from your cities. And right now we're focusing on Navi Mumbai and Mumbai.
Thank you.
Sonam, I'm very much.
Thank you, sir.
Yes.
Sonam, I'm very much. I do know you, and we have met a number of times.
Yes,
And
but I don't know whether you remember or not. So it's always
I,
yeah.
Mm, I think I just wanted to also mention that this is important because why friendships or our journey from me to we, it's also a lot of voices starts resonating when you're in this journey. And that becomes very important because most of the work always starts voluntarily when it's for the larger good. And it's important to know that you're not alone in this whole journey, because there are always moments where you are exhausted, you don't know which way it's going, and friendships work really well there. So, I just wanted to say that because, just to make sense to the other people in the group, that why it is important to have friends, and why that friendship, or rather understand the whole concept of friendship when we are working on these kinds of larger projects. Anyone else wants to share?
Okay, maybe I will go next and
Shall I remove the spotlight for a time being so that we can
Sure.
Yes.
No, that'd be lovely.
Yes,
That'd be
please.
lovely.
That's, yeah.
We told you're backbenchers. We'd rather not be in the spotlight.
There you go.
Yeah, that's lovely.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's lovely.
That's nice.
Karen, I'm a participant. Can I share?
Yes, of
Yes,
course.
please, ma'am.
Yeah. Just to introduce myself, I think I'm friends to all of you, though you don't know me, right? Because I've been a part of listening to all this, and we work in this space. I'm a director of a management institute in Bangalore, ABBS School of Management. And we have disaster management as a course introduced in management studies, which is a little unique and innovative because not many management schools are teaching that. And at present, we are doing a blue-green initiative with the Bowring Institute in Bangalore and with IIT Roorkee and IIT BHU. So I was very interested to listen to all of you, what are the other things that you all are doing, and would be happy to share whatever we are doing down the line. So I just wanted to say that I believe I'm your friend already. Thank you.
Thank you.
Might I add, Karen, you inspired me with this reaction that you are putting up. Now I'm also too excited about putting up those things. Go on, who's next? Lot of love in the room.
Amit was saying something.
Amit wanted to, yes.
I was
Amit
saying
wanted
that
to
maybe
share.
I can go next and last, maybe. That I'm a friend and I can see many friend of mine here who is maybe mostly elder to me, and some there might be who is younger to me, and I see the friends who always inspire me to learn something new. And yeah, I'm ready to open to learn from all of you, as I have been always doing this. The friends are always my key teacher, have been my key teacher.
So any more sharings? We'd love to hear. And I think Miss Farida ji had come on the video, and then she's gone up. She wants to share. No, I think
If anyone wants to put it onto the chat, that is also fine. We can read for you.
yes.
Yeah.
We
Right.
can read it out.
Yes, Farida ji.
Good afternoon, everyone. I would like to introduce myself. Am I audible?
Yes.
Yes, you are. You are.
I'm just a volunteer educator. I've joined Kushi NGO since 2 years, and I'm working here as an English educator. And before that, I worked in Awami English High School as a history teacher. I was taking a standard from standard 5th to 10th standard. I was taking history subject, and before that, I was in primary section. Total maybe 13 to 14 years I've worked over there. And since 2 years, I'm working in Kushi NGO. That's all from my
Thank you so much.
side.
If you don't mind, may I come in there, Kimaya, if you don't mind? So,
Yes.
Farida, you use the word just twice. We are just friends. Just is a very big thing. Don't worry, you're not just a volunteer and not just what you are. You're doing a lot. So I just wanted to add. Yeah.
And specific to our world, justice has a just. Okay. Right. Okay. So I think we'll keep trying to open out as we go along, and everyone's opinion is welcome, because we are in a session which is called Co-Creating Our Blue-Green Cities. And I want to just orient this conversation towards that a little bit. And maybe we just, if you're reimagining cities, we need to know where we come from first. That imagine के पहले भी कुछ है, जो है वो क्या है. And I think a reality check always helps us position where we are. And from that perspective, Kimya, you want to just jump into the...
You want to play the movie or you want to just...
Let's play the movie.
Okay.
So in our journey over the last 15 years, we've used various devices, as we call it, or tools, to really engage, because we need to know where we are. And part of it has been creating a lot of communication material, which included films, to really position in those 15 years is a long time at what is the status or current thing. And we increasingly met a lot of BMC or the municipal corporation in various cities. We met citizens, and we realized that there are different sets where the ownership has always been an issue, that owning your city. And this was one of the first films that we made to communicate from Mumbai. And that's what we would like to share here. Himaya, over to you.
Yeah. So should I just play first and then we can talk about it?
Mumbai. I got everything here. Dreams, ambition, home. I grew and the city grew. 7 islands became one. I needed more. I cut mangroves, trees, and every patch of land possible. Along came roads, bridges, factories, and globalization. I wanted more. I reclaimed the sea, and water bodies, and maidans, and even the skies. This is how I flood my city. Rising sea levels, unplanned reclamation, and an inadequate drainage system clogged with mismanaged solid waste. A drowning of the dream city every monsoon.
पानी का हमेशा परेशानी रहता है, इतना पानी घर में घुसता है. 2 बार 3 बार, एक बार नहीं 2 बार 3 बार, लास्ट बारिश में भी पानी घुसता है.
पानी यहाँ तक आता है और नुकसान 10 से 15 हज़ार का नुकसान होता है और रहने की तकलीफ भी हो जाती है.
फ्रिज में पानी, कबाड़ में पानी, ऐसा पूरे कपड़े मेरा बहुत, बच्चे लोगों तो मेरा एक भी बस्ता और किताब बुक कुछ भी बचा नहीं था. कितना जल्दी हटाएंगे. अचानक में रात को पानी घुस गया 1:30 बजे रात में. सोए थे सब बच्चे.
हे सर्व पत्रे बित्रे हे सगळे उडले जातात खालचे. म्युनिसिपालिटी वगैरे एवढा काय बघत नाही.
This Wali project, the ceiling project came and the sea started getting rougher and rougher.
There would be an expanse of the sand and the beach. There would be crabs also over here. But at this point, I think there's only plastic. I don't think you even have fish over here. Forget crabs.
It's not just Mumbai, but Chennai, Kochi, Vizag, and many more. Who did this? Is it climate change? Or is it we who need to change? We worry about rising sea levels of 2050. But why did Mumbai flood in July 2005? Is it a preview of a time to come? When the high tide met the cloud burst, tidal push met the choked river, the perfect recipe for the flood of the century. It brought Mumbai to a standstill and took over 1,000 lives.
The 2005 के flood के बाद जितने commissions के जितने भी recommendations थे about the plastic, about the debris, about the river line, or about rehabilitations of surrounding low-lying areas, या दूसरी river के जो connectivity जहाँ से disconnect थी, उसके ऊपर काम नहीं किया गया. काम पूरा सिर्फ एक ही डायरेक्शन में हुआ, concretizations of river. तो रिवर के दोनों साइड पे हजारों करोड़ रुपए खर्चा करके जो वॉल बनाएंगे, कई जगह पे रिवर के बेस में भी बनाएंगे, जिसके कारण जो फ्लड बढ़ना चालू हुआ है, क्योंकि जो कैचमेंट एरिया में पानी गिर रहा है वो रिवर की कंक्रीट वॉल ही उसको अंदर आने को रोक रही है।
फिलहाल हमारे को प्रॉब्लम इस दीवार से, ये दीवार यहाँ पे वो आधी है, वहाँ पे जो जाने वाला पानी है वो उस तरफ जा रहा नहीं है, वो हमारे घरों की तरफ इधर घूम रहा है। कम से कम 50 से लेके 60 घर में इधर पानी घुस जाता है इस दीवार की वजह से।
We still blame flooded rivers, clogged drains, submerged homes, and no trains. Producing report after report, each saying respect the floodlines, the ecological flows, and stop human disruption. Yet, the story remains the same, and the frequency of flooding increases every year.
All the ecological hotspots in every city should be identified, should be demarcated, and should be protected. Unless you do this, cities will definitely get flooded. Once the city expanded, people think that water bodies are no more useful. Urban planners think that these water bodies have no use, but these water bodies have got a lot of ecological functions. These are the recharge structure. These are the most important groundwater resource structures, and these are also the floodwater carriers. And if you occupy, if you're going to encroach, this water will go elsewhere. So therefore, the city gets flooded. The impact of the flood is going to go up from one year to another because the vulnerability is also going up.
And then begins the blame game. We talk about inactive municipal corporations. They talk about encroachment. Politicians step in for vote. What we don't talk about is what is right.
Actually, concrete walls is it's a reaction, it's not an action. It is a poorly designed, ill-informed and shabbily executed approach. There are alternatives to concrete walls, and each segment of the river, we need to understand that it has its own microclimate. It has its own challenges and diversity. There are alternatives to concrete walls. There are geotextiles, there are reinforcements, as well as gabion systems.
What we forget is a wall stops natural flows of wet and dry. Instead, we complain about floods and drought, missing the bigger picture of natural links.
I believe an integrated approach will balance the engineering measures and our city's flood preparedness by understanding the flood hydrology and ecology of the natural landscape. This will ensure absorption and restoration of water cycles, leading to minimal loss of life, livelihood creation, and well-being. There are so many examples of the river rejuvenation success stories, not just in the cities across the world, but in our tribal areas, reinstating the physical well-being of people, economies, and most importantly, the environment.
We have forgotten the laws we laid, coastal regulatory zones, red and blue non-development river floodlines. So how can we bring these natural flows back to our cities?
With the coming of the tap, the equilibrium that existed between our human habitats and natural ecosystems was completely disrupted. What used to be our front yards became our backyards for dumping and for the sewage to flow. What we really need to see is a holistic approach where the technical works with the social, the environmental and the political, all together speaking a single language or a narrative for the health of the city. Its enterprise, for the citizen, all aligned together for change making to happen.
But there is hope. The holy city of Nashik in Maharashtra, which took a stand for River Godavari.
We brought the society together, that is the intellectuals, all the sections of the society and the administration, that is the rulers. We brought together and we together did the Kumbh and dedicated the Kumbh to the nature, and we termed it as a green Kumbh. In one day, 40-50,000 people entered all the Godavari river and its tributaries and cleaned it up. And that gave us very strong message. Then the entire Kumbh Mela in our Nasik, actually the Kumbh Mela lasts for 1 year. So the entire 1 year we did the awareness campaigns, and we were targeting basically on the generation next, that is the students were involved in all the activities.
सर्वात मोठी घोडचूक नाशिक महानगरपालिकेने अशी केलेली होती का दुटोंड्या मारुतीपासून ते गाडगे मारत पुलापर्यंत रिव्हर बेड मधले जे कुंड होते त्या कुंडांमध्ये प्लॅटफॉर्म बांधलेला होता, रस्त्या आणि पायऱ्या बांधलेला होता. ज्या वेळेस पहिल्या टप्प्यामध्ये 2 कुंडातलं कॉन्क्रिटायझेशन काढण्यात आलं तर 5.5 लाख किलो एवढं डेब्रेज, म्हणजे याचं सिमेंट कॉन्क्रीटचं डेब्रेज हे कलेक्ट करण्यात आलं. ज्यास मधला प्लॅटफॉर्म काढला, ज्यास रिव्हर बेडचं बेसचं कॉन्क्रिटायझेशन काढायला सुरुवात केल्यानंतर आणि जसं तिथलं खालचं सिमेंट कॉन्क्रीटचं डेब्रेज उचलल्या खालून जिवंत पाण्याचे स्रोत लागायला सुरुवात झाली. नेचरल स्प्रिंग्स हे रिव्हाइव्ह.
So we all need to ask ourselves, how do we reclaim nature's floods and flows for a healthy and safe future? Let's come together for our city, for our home, for our rivers. It is only then can we say, I did not flood my city.
Thank you, Karen. Yeah. So I think the
I had
significance
my
of-
hair standing on its edge, literally. Literally. It's fantastic.
Thanks a lot.
Thank you.
I think the reason we chose to play this film and we keep playing it all the time is that, one, how it was done. This film was done during COVID, and it wouldn't have been possible if not for friends. That a filmmaker friend helped us put it together. They went and shot during the lockdown at certain places because I think we always live in our little communities and societies and don't understand in certain quarters of this town how people are living. And they still went and shot it. And so I think that itself, things happen because of friends. And most of the stories captured of change making, like the Nasik, it happened because of communities. And like it or not, we realize when we are working with the rivers that anything is happening, it leads because one person handholds somebody else. Like, it's your bad day and you don't want to go and do it. It is someone, they just come on and just come. And I think it always is like that, even with the blue-green infrastructure that we were trying to capture in the drawings or the animation that was shared, etc. It is not easy. And I think most of us are from the social sector here today. And I think that what we're trying to raise the case here is, how do we continue to do it all the time? It's not easy. So in that case, how does the blue-green, when we're planning sustainable cities of tomorrow, how do we imagine it collectively? And maybe the starting point would be, what are the problems? Kima, Vikram, please do add to this before we get into that session of taking in the hurdles.
Yeah, so Ajay, sir, Kima,
No, it's okay. Please continue. I'll take it.
So, just taking what Ajay has just said about it was important because we have been asking ourselves this question as to what keeps us sustained, keeps, because we are not. It's a voluntary organization. We are doing a lot of things pro bono. There is no funding in the sense that whenever there is somebody who supports us, it is there, but by and large it is our own personal interest which is in the cause, and everybody over here on this platform, I believe we are over here also for that same very reason. So when it is beyond professional requirements, or when it is beyond the economic kind of purview, and many of these activities, particularly in the environment domain, you need sustenance for that very reason. So when all these kind of challenges come towards in front of you, when you have to prioritize this, not over your profession, but still making time within your professional life, how then do you come together and how do you support each other as friends and build that network and build that voice? More importantly is to build that voice. So that has led us to a lot of ups and downs. And in today's discussion, if we are able to, if there are questions which come forth, we would be most happy to share that, in the hope that we get reciprocation also in the return as to how, because the future, our future collaboration or future kind of this, we will remain as friends, no doubt. But our work in this domain is also something which we constantly ask ourselves, each other, prod each other, and then take it further. So without compromising on our friendship. Yeah. So today's session, we would like to really share this and open the discussion for this whole idea of this relationships, this people's relationship, the friendship relationship, how that can be, mm, harnessed towards uh, the city. Yeah. Yeah, Kima.
I would like to add the point of alignments, because when we started together, three of us were aligned with this idea that we want to work on the rivers. But as we moved into the journey, there were a lot of people that we had to convince, right from the administrative bodies to people from similar organizations like us, to individuals who wanted to work. And in the movie, actually, if you see, there are individual voices, there are voices from the organizations as well. And it also talks about a certain kind of uh, achievements that they have got within their own journeys. But at the same time, it also talks about that how difficult, or the kind of struggle that it had. So alignments is something that you constantly keep working on, where you try and also understand each other, and that's how also friendships grow, and it blossoms well. Then I think we can open up for discussion or certain kind of questions, and then
Sure.
take it forward. Anyone? Any questions?
Any sharing?
Sharings, yeah.
So if I may go first, yeah. You used a term which we are using a lot to talk about the PICO world, that proximity is not alignment. Okay. Just because now this call itself is an example. We're all in the same room, but we're not yet all aligned, right? We're still exploring,
Absolutely.
right? We're still in this process of exploration. The most serious situation is WhatsApp groups. We are in hundreds of WhatsApp groups. We join out of a sense of FOMO. First, we join out of a positive sense of belief that, oh, wow, this is of my interest and I should join. And then, of course, it's a sense of FOMO. So you don't leave, okay, because you see some good people, but you really don't know still, who are they, what they're doing, and all of that. And you assume that somewhere something good will come out of staying in that group. And then you put it on mute. Yeah, because now it's too much and nothing much is happening, right? So I think building on what you said of proximity, I think the first thing is, we need to be clear about really what we want to do, what affects us, what is of concern to us. That's number one, us, understanding our own sense of our relationship, okay, with the city and with the issues around the city that would kind of resonate, because we can have tons of things that we're concerned about. And I'll stop very quickly here. There are tons of things we're concerned about, but that doesn't mean you're going to do something about it. And that's, for me, is the difference between owning something and just being concerned about something. Ownership means you're going to take action around it. So are you willing to take ownership of a problem? And of course, not alone. So co-ownership. And that's why our tagline is co-own the change. So I just wanted to, highlight that part of our thought process and why we are doing this. So yeah.
आप लोग ये फाइनल स्टेप जब मतलब टाटा और इसके ऊपर बनाते हैं तो गैस बंद किया था कि उतना ही तो उसमें गैस है ये तो जल जाएगा.
Sorry.
Anyone else?
Someone else.
We are a very shy group, I must say that.
There is somebody speaking, but we are not.
Yeah, I'm also wondering who's speaking.
Yeah. I think someone is trying to speak, but I can't hear it clearly.
No.
Yeah.
Or maybe we can put the questions again in the chat box and let people.
I was sharing a screen trying to put the questions out there.
Yeah.
Yeah. Are you all able to see
we
the
can.
screen?
Yes.
Yes, we can see. Yes.
Okay. And I'm also putting the, I think, questions which are rising from the conversation.
So, anybody would like to try?
Why don't you go ahead,
Yeah.
Amit?
Yes.
For me, I mean, I have nothing much to say or add because I have not built that much of understanding here in terms of, urban design in this sense. But I'll say that for me, the friendship is more of like a positive peer pressure, and that brings me the co-ownership sometimes when I need some push because we believe that we are a social animal and we need sometimes that external push to do something, and it's always good to have that positive peer pressure. So
But that is also to do with how humans think, right? Whenever we are in trouble or any kind of a problem, you'll always make a list of friends that you know are going to first try to understand you, and then the second list comes in, which is going to make it tough for you at the same time. So, yeah. But the ownership word is very interesting because I think a lot of the time, individually, you want to take the ownership, but it comes with a responsibility.
Yeah.
And then that responsibility becomes really overarching in your day-to-day life. And that's how, sometimes the ownership just fizzles out over a period of time. And then collaborations and friendships really help you pull, which Vikram was also mentioning, that, there are a lot of ups and downs, and then you need that push, that pull from a friend, which can keep the momentum going.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is exactly what I was talking, that you need that push or that positive peer pressure, you can say, in a group which we call like a friends group, which sometimes like many times works for us.
I'm going to push this conversation a little further, and maybe I'll just ask people because whose world I know in a parallel way. So Sonam, as a creative professional
I actually had a point to add.
Great.
Huh? Yeah.
Go for it.
So what happened was this last weekend, no, I'm learning to drive, okay, too old to learn, but I've decided कि अभी no more dependencies. And we go on this big ground at Kharghar to explore. Now what I noticed at around between 6 to 8 in the morning was that the ground is filled with middle-aged men. Okay, people as old as I am, we are like at least the ones who switched on their cameras, and they're playing cricket, they're playing football, right? And they're really like having the time of their life, reliving you remember what we did when you were in your 11th standard or whatnot. So those friendships are kind of coming back here, and I just decided to sit down and just stay back a little and have a conversation with them to see. And what came out of it was, you remember how in olden times we had those chawl systems where a C-shaped building had an open kind of a open ground in front yard in front of it, and you would like everybody would know each other, and by design friendship was kind of encouraged. And then that kind of led to this whole thinking about how by design we have stopped that friendship from being formed, at least for our little ones, because now we have gated communities. Now we kind of put a lot of surveillance, vigilance, this is allowed, that is not allowed, and all of it. So then that is the one other component of it. Then I stayed back a little longer and I decided that let's see, when it is not sunny out in the same open ground, are these spaces also claimed by the current generation of kids? And to my surprise, it is not. Even during the peak of summer vacation. So after that, every day almost in the evening, I make it a point to go to that place and just explore if younger generation is coming back there or not, but they're not. And the question really then ye ki have we done something that has stopped these friendships from happening in open spaces? Have we, taken over all taken over these open spots that kids would reclaim as their own, the gully cricket ka craze, and all of it, has that reduced drastically from what was maybe a few years back to the cell phones and the mobile age and all of it, or maybe just the urban heat, like it's no longer bearable to be out there in our cities, and that is why you have lesser number of kids out there. So that kind of made me question how we are, as a community of designers, urban planners, architects, everyone, what have we done to a city which is known for its friendliness? No, like they say Delhi is not a friendly city, but Mumbai is, and then all of this happens. So
Interesting. Very. Thank you, Sona. We are not designing for people now or relationships. Where is the place for blue and green? I think that is important to ask at the same time.
Yeah.
Dr. Madhumita, I'm going to pull you out on, because you have been you have a day-to-day challenge of relationship building in your institution. If you could share some of the challenges and if solutions that you have tried to achieve, because a campus is like a microcosm of the larger city, and you deal with it in and out. So yes, if you could just share any pointers that you have.
See, first of all, as a management institution, we have to change the mindset of the students who come in. See, unfortunately, in India, placement is a hygiene factor for a management institute, whether you are an IIM or whether you are in the second level or whatever. So that was something that we thought we need to change. Of course, we have mandatory papers that we have brought in on corporate social responsibility, governance, sustainability. But for in the beginning, the students feel, okay, they're part of a course that I need to just study, pass my exam, get my grades. But my final aim is that corporate, that corner room that I'm going to sit and be the CEO at the end of the day. So that's one thing that we have to keep looking at. That's why in the last session also I said, changing the mindset is very important. When we are looking at the youngsters or the youth, they want to do a lot of things. There is a lot of aspiration in them, but the direction has to be offered to them. And that's something that we keep facing every day. And there's a lot of debate about it. Okay, I want to do it, but there's so much of corruption around us, and there are no people to help us, all that. So at the end, the understanding is we are also part of the environment, right? I probably would have also paid a bribe somewhere to get something done. So let us not blame the entire world for what is happening to me. So that's a mindset that we are trying to make a change, and it does take an effort. But we do see changes. By the time they're in second year, they start realizing how important it is, even for their business. No business can thrive in a disaster-prone world. That is something that we open up to them. So economics is something that we have to bring in and explain to them how that is important. So we have now woven in AI and disaster management, where we are talking about how the assets are going to be managed for the organizations. And we are reaching out to organizations and telling them that what risk your asset is on, because the CFO actually doesn't know what loss he will go through. So these are things that we are bringing in new, and that's opening up a lot of viewpoint among the students, where they are realizing. And some of them, of course, come with the whole idea that I want to support. So we are doing campus to community projects and interacting with NGOs or the government bodies. But yes, every day, we are looking at this whole set of youngsters who have to actually believe that the climate change, the things, we are all part of it. We have all added to it. And so that's something that we are looking at. We are bringing in different things. So that's something that we are every day trying to face.
Thank you for that.
Thank
I
you.
picked up on the word economics and risk. I would also say when we create a community for especially the city or a larger social agenda, are we also looking at the stakes? Because if people see their stake in it, the engagement would be better. So looking at our blue-green cities, and I think we've pointed out that increasingly it is an issue. We all have a stake in a flood that happens. We have a stake in any disaster that happens. So should we be talking to citizens about stake they have, or is the BMC not doing that, or is the government or community or us not doing it? And that's where we find our projects or binds a little lesser. Would that be your case?
Yeah, I mean, we do talk about the stakeholders and we do talk about the role that they're going to play. And they do see that, but you still need to, there is still that bit of an attitude that is it my job? We've got a BMC, or we've got the corporates. They have the money, they have the strength. They should also come forward and do it. So we are looking at telling them that it is not about who can do it. What is your role? How are you contributing as an individual to this? So that's a big mindset change that we need to bring about, because tomorrow they are going to run corporates. Tomorrow they are going to run businesses, and we know, how businesses have impacted the climate change or have impacted disaster management. I mean, Bangalore is also a city that is prone to floods. And we have seen big corporates like Wipro or Infosys come under that, and they really didn't know how to handle it. We have flash floods because there is not a river inside Bangalore, because we have ruined everything as Mumbai. We have built over it. But and all our lakes, they were beautifully connected to each other. Again, there we have ruined it because now the lakes are not connected. So we had 99 lakes. We are left with only around 10 or 12. So those are the realizations that we have to bring in. And as you say, the stakes are important, and they have to see, businesses would like to see that, how it is impacting their profit lines, and, how it is going to be in the future, whether they will be able to survive or not, how the supply chains will work. So these are things that once they see the reality, I think it makes a lot of difference. Otherwise, it looks like, okay, it's being talked about, it's not going to happen now, and I can continue as I am. So yes, so the stakeholder involvement is very, very important, and it is changing. I'm not saying that it is not. There are businesses who are looking at, environment and getting involved in social issues. But as I said, you cannot leave economics out. Even for us, for a normal citizen, I mean, it is also economics, right? At the end of the day. So that is something that we have to build in. And that once they see that, then it becomes much more easier for us to convince. I don't know whether I've answered your question.
You have.
Okay,
So,
thank you.
Ajay, Sitaram has put a comment in the chat. Would you like to bring him in?
Yes. Sitaram, would you want to say it, or would you want me to read out for you?
Good afternoon, everyone. Yeah, this is Sitaram, and I'm an architect. So, what Sonamji said, even I has saw the same. Like I go for walks during weekends and whenever I have time in Shivaji Park. So I also feel, I mean, have seen like, the middle-aged people, or I would say millennials, or like we have the tendency to go to the grounds more and play and do that because that's how we are exposed during, I mean, in our childhoods. Like we have less screen time that during those days, and I could see the same like I was so last in May, like generally we have holidays in schools, but I could see the percentage of younger kids is very less. I mean, it's around 10 to 15, I would say. So yeah, I mean, I just wanted to add what Sonamji said. So
So with the response, sorry, may I? Like Ajay, you want to say something over there?
No, go ahead.
I actually from Madhumita ji, I took this word like changing the mindsets, because that also was our three of us was trying to also look at how do we change the perception of the blue infrastructure within the city, where the Nala word actually comes from a freshwater stream, and right now the current word Nala is actually spoken about a dirty drain that is there within the city, right? So it has a lot of negative connotation. The word has got a lot of negative connotation. And absolutely, the earlier historical word has been completely erased out. It's also about listening to all of us. I was also thinking that how our perceptions about public realm or social spaces have also changed over a period of time. The blue and the green infrastructure are actually a very good resourceful lands and water to try and create that public realm for our cities. And I think we also, because of which we were working on this whole narrative of the healthy cities, where we were trying to convert the blue and the green infrastructure into this kind of a resource for the city, which also offers not only in terms of flood mitigation and the other kind of engineering, but it's more to do with creating healthy spaces within the city where you reach out. So I think there is a question there for each one of us, that what has happened over these periods of time where we don't find these spaces as socially inviting spaces where you want to go, you want to meet your friend. Rather, we always call up and we always meet each other at a cafe or an indoor condition, which is much more comfortable, rather than walking along the river, or try to catch up on a meal in a park, which we all have done it in our childhood at some point or the other, especially the picnics, which have also changed. There was a question on education as well. So I think, yeah, there was a lot of resonance, not directly to the blue green infrastructure, but we are talking more within us as individuals and a relationship with the city and with each other as well at the same time.
If I may just add, you see, the students also have to see that we walk the talk, right? So
Yes.
as an institution, like, we are totally solar supported, and there is waste management and all. So they also need to see that. And there is a change probably in today's generations growing up. I'm much older than most of you who are sitting here, right? I'm a senior citizen, and I agree with you. I would love to play in a park instead of sitting in front of a screen. But there is a difference today. I mean, we have created a world where we are constantly asking our child to perform better than the other. That competition has become against others, not against your own self or your own capabilities. So these are things in the education system also we'll have to look at. It is today we have CBSCs and ISCs and all these giving you scores like 99. I mean, I can't believe you can get 100 in English or 100 in history, or but we are getting that. So what are we creating? Are we creating a generation of people who cannot be losers? Because even the games that we have given them is all about, you'll go into a god mode and win it, because you can't be a loser. And so this kind of a mindset has created the whole idea that material wealth is the measurement of success. So somehow I have to get that. So these are things, which in the educational system we'll have to bring a change. I know I'm going to use a word which may not be liked by many, which is the concept of spirituality, which has nothing to do with religion. Let me clarify it. So we talk about spirinomics. That is, spirituality and economics have to be combined, because you cannot do economics without having the spiritual, that is the holistic understanding of where you are taking your economics. And that is what the spirituality brings in. So those are things that need to be explored and looked at and thought about. Telling them it is good to have a blue green, they will agree with you. but at heart of heart, I'm not really interested. You know, that's
because
something.
they don't actually see that space.
Exactly.
Which
That's
is
what
in
I'm
the
trying
real
to
world,
say.
right?
We have to walk the talk.
One important aspect that we've need to touch also is what are the alternatives that a young mind whom we are saying is absent from the blue, greens, and browns of the city is really going and directed towards. So while we do, Dr. Madhumita, what you said is absolutely right, that there is some kind of a rat race that is leading the kids away from the maidans, but there is also like an alternative through media, through online gaming, through all these other things, that in your own comfort zone you can live the fantasy that your brain, or the dopamine that your brain feels for. And that, like, then you start questioning whether the way in which the city is designed is really like can do anything at all to bring these kids outside, because they're getting satiated by their own construct, their own environment, where they can rule and they can dictate how the world is kind of. So that is also an important aspect.
So,
Absolutely.
I'll draw two threads, one from Sonam's and one from Madhumita's, related to uh, the 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 children not having adequate space for the or even if they have the space, they are not utilizing this. That is one aspect of it. Um, while majority times it was true, in fact, post COVID, we even in our society we faced that for quite some time. But last year, somehow, this is because you made me think about, in my observation, what was happening. And in our society, we noticed last year suddenly the kids are coming together, and whatever annual programs were being arranged so many years ago, and for the past few years they were not happening. The children were again wanting to relive that, wanting to conduct that, and they have started organizing it. So it's nice to see them taking ownership of these society spaces, or these spaces, as well as making a pitch, playground, and all of that. So, to that extent, yes, there is an internet of abundance or excess which is there. But at the same time, I think many of the kids, many of the children, youngsters, they do realize that there is a role for the real world interaction or real world play area also. So, and in fact, there are many people who are looking at and booking kind of venues where they can play these games and conduct them. Though we are not in, means I myself am not into games and all, but still there are these things also happening. So in that context, when we talk about a blue-green, in fact, blue-green infrastructure to me is it is good for technical conversations. But when I'm talking to the citizens, I would rather use, the public commons or public areas where multiple activities can happen along with the games and all. So we see a lot of lost opportunity in the manner in which our rivers are being seen. I mean, presently, even if I look at the flood mitigation measures of concretization and all, it is not just because it is ecologically not the right thing, but it's socially also it is not the right thing, because you are not allowing people to come in contact with the water. So are we in a position to look at our not just landscapes, I would say waterscapes also, or are we, instead of real estate as only land and encroaching more and more of water, are we in a position to look at a society which is not water averse, or not very water phobic? Can we have a water-philic kind of a society? That is something, that was the conversations, that is one of the conversations we are very which is very important. And these spaces, the water and water spaces, do have the potential to bring that softness to the relationships, to the friendship, to so many things, to so many aspects of our, it does shape our who we are. So increasingly when we are making our cities a little more hard or a little more sharp edged and losing out on that the softness of the water, are we affecting or are we influencing the way we look at our relationships also? So these are the things. So you are right, Sonam. The way we are shaping our cities is so probably hard-edged that fluidity, that softness which is required, which is very much essential part of our relationship, that also we are in a way without realizing also, without being conscious about it, we are affecting that as well. Okay, so maybe it is time to look at these our human relationships or friendships together with how cities also reflect that in the real world.
I would like to just push this conversation to what's missing. And I think when we talked earlier, I responded to Dr. Chatterjee in terms of a campus being a microcosm for the city. But even we as individuals, our choices are a microcosm for the city. Vikram talked about the softness of water in a relationship, of the city edge. But we are all into going green, right? We talk green so often, plantation of trees, lovely. For the Mumbaikars, going to BKC in summer, you will see one dry hedge. For the green, you need the blue. And there are links, like Vikram said, the relationship between human settlements and water. There is a relationship between if we want a green city, you need the blue in it. And I think somewhere along, and I think those linkages is what we need to start doing as citizens, because unless those mindset change, I think it's not only, and ma'am, it's not, I don't think spiritual or even religion is a bad word, as long as it gets a job done. And for example, I just think heritage sometimes may be a bad word in today's world, because cities are talking about Mumbai, Shanghai, we're talking about the smart city, where I think it's not so smart because we are not considering many things which are a part of smartness. So I think those missing links is something that we need to start being aware as citizens. Otherwise, we are living in a bubble which is going to burst very soon. And I think we've all even tried that in terms of, the catastrophe, climate change, this thing, but it's not working. How do we sensitively bring on board the generations? And I think that's something that the younger minds here should join, add to the dialogue, is what is it that mindset shift will happen towards the green and the blues of the city? Because like in management, like the economics, it works, right? It's money that is driving certain, you can't blame anyone for it, because I think the cost of living has gone up so much. But at the same time, a friend of ours in Delhi, Pinaki, he told this, and I think it's just stayed in my head so much. He said that even NGOs, we're talking about like-minded people from the same civil society sector, it is the scarcity which is driving us apart. Because we are so tuned into, and this is management lessons, social enterprise, that we are so busy trying to get in the fund to do what we are trying to do, which we believe is a good, that we end up spoiling that relationship or getting into a competitive relationship with a like-minded person. And that is also a challenge today. And we need to see how, and I think that's why the PECOWorld Summit, I think Karen should talk about the PECO and establishing of that, because without us getting over that hurdle, even like-minded people or friends or communities will always be at conflict with each other. Yeah. And I think that is the biggest challenge of survival, economics, mindsets, everything coming together.
Thank you so much, Ajay. Actually, so true, because, and the second line to that very thing, we have one single slide that really speaks to this entire thing that you spoke about. One is proximity is not, alignment, as I said earlier. And the second is dialogue is not commitment. I mean, unfortunately, we spend so much time talking to people and, trying to convince them and trying to convince them. And I'm slowly started to realize that you can only go so far. I mean, I am finally, a background is of marketing, technology and marketing, worst kind of combination, right? And, so you believe that a no is just a request for more information, and then you think you'll give some more information, and then you think you'll give some. But ultimately, any collaboration, any collective action has to be with two hands clapping, has to be about a win-win proposition, has to be of an understanding and a recognition that there is value for both, value co-creation. And so dialogue is not enough unless people are willing to commit. And again, I will go even one step beyond that. Commitment does not mean lip service. Because people will say, that yes, of course, I love what you're doing and I'm going to be there and all. But when it really comes to it, they don't turn up. They're not there. They don't agree, right? So what does a commitment mean? It means contribution, skin in the game, right? And that's what we've tried to capture in the whole PICO model, in the whole PICO platform, and in the whole PICO methodology and the toolkit that goes with it. So we've created a whole toolkit just to help anyone who wants to do collaboration and collective action, to guide them along that path. And hopefully, ma'am, Dr. Madhumita, you are not the only one who's senior over here. My gray is just not seen because it's dyed. Yeah, all right.
All of us.
So I think it's been years of experience and, deep insights which we have tried to bring into the whole tech platform. So the tech is obviously, being an engineer, that foundation is very much there, that you want everything with tech. But along with that tech, you need to have a lot of psychology to understand user behavior. And then you need to have, business and strategic insights across all, not just the economic, the social and the environment, and therefore bringing all those pieces together. So I'm really, I mean, like I said, towards the end of my career or whatever, life or whatever you want to call it, I feel like finally I've been able to bring all those pieces together. And that's why I love the topic, what you said. I just love the topic because suddenly you look back and you realize who really are your friends. Who really are those people who will walk that journey with you? Who really are those people who will continue to walk that journey even when you're failing? Like this year for us, in some ways, are failures because we have really pivoted entirely away from such a successful model of going to 84 countries and 10,000 people. And now suddenly we are grappling with even making a simple registration work, making a simple session work, right? So why? Because we are doing completely different. We're doing something totally different. So I'll just stop here, but I love the way that you're trying to make people, go beyond the layers of conversation into understanding, really behavior, not just words, but action that is required to make this a success or make any activity or initiative, which will make our world a better place, Yeah. So thank you so much.
Thank you. That's sweet. When we started yesterday, we were really worried. 1.5 hours, either we've done a day workshop or a half an hour, 1 hour presentation. And it is 1 hour, nearly 45 minutes and 1 hour, 15 minutes. Sorry. So we have 15 more minutes left.
Yeah.
And so it is a working day. It is an afternoon. I think.
So Ajay, if you don't mind, in that case, may I just quickly show the platform so that those who are here, can understand, even for your sake also, because we want to take this further. This is not the end of it, right? It's not only for a conversation. We'd love to see collaboration happen among those who are here in this call. And also, of course, those who will hear this message when we put this out in the platform, when we put it out on YouTube, because obviously this is not the only space that you are going to get your voice heard, right? So if you don't mind, I could just very quickly share. Is that okay? Yeah.
Sure, please do.
Yeah. So yeah, you see, I was looking at exactly your only session, as you can see. So if you go to the PICO world, you will see there are actually 5 key things over here. The first is your persona test. It's just a 1 minute test to understand how you behave in a collective. Okay. This is not about what you are as an individual, but what you are in a collective. So that's just a 1 minute test, and it's more a reflection tool than anything else. And you can just do it in no time. The second is the passport, which really forces you to think very, very focused. Okay. I think, like I said, we are in hundreds of groups, right? Why? Because we feel, oh, that was the interest, that was it. So a lot of things you're concerned about, but what are you willing to own? What are you willing to commit to? What are you willing to contribute to? So this makes you really, really go into a very, very fine-tuned approach that what is your cause? So what is the issue you want to deal with? What is the community you want to affect, or support or build or whatever? And what is the county or the place? We'll change it to city because many people came back with saying county people don't understand in India. So we said, fine, we'll change it to city. So give your location, be very specific. You're not going to be able to do everything across the world, but if you can make a change in your city, as you have said, then you've already done a lot, right? And then you're always going to have people who may only do good once in a while, on their birthday, on a festival or whatever. That's fine. That's perfectly fine. This is for those who just want to do something once in a while. So this is your go-to exchange. Give opportunity, take opportunity. Maybe you also want something just once in a while. You are just doing something and suddenly you realize you need something. Just post it over here, right? And build your this thing. The next is the Pico Net. And this is the very interesting thing. As I said, all of us are drowning in WhatsApp groups and chat. But if you really have a WhatsApp group which is meaningful, okay, bring it here. Bring it here in the sense, just put your link over here. You don't have to replicate, you don't have to duplicate, you don't have to reinvent the wheel, right? And give information so that others know more about your WhatsApp group and it's not hidden in your phone. But that's what happens, right? Your WhatsApp groups are hidden in your phone. How do you bring visibility to it? So you do this so that you can invite more people to join. You can share who are with you in this journey, right? So this is a great exchange and information and, sharing kind of a space. And the last space, which is the most important, and if you can see in my in the background, is written there, building Pico circles that will change the world. This is what we are aiming for. This is the success we are looking for. Can we take action together? So you have to have a project. Your PicoNet can be any group. There's no problem, right? It can be any kind of WhatsApp group or community and all, it's fine. But this can only be a project. A firm project that you want to implement. You're looking for resources, you're looking for partners, you're looking for collaborators, you're looking for networks, you're looking for solutions, you're looking for products, you're looking for service. All these can be put into this. There's a whole, and again, very simple, nothing, no jargon, no other than county. As I've been told. But other than that, it's really, really simple. So create the circle you want, and you want it as small as possible, as specific as possible. It could be, of course, not the house, but it could be as specific as your building society. It could be as specific as a classroom of students who come together to do a project. It could be as specific as a garden area where people come as walkers, or who come there. So this is really what we have created. And I'll stop over here just so that, in case anybody wants to share a comment or ask a question, I'm more than happy. But this is the collaboration tool that we are offering to everybody who would like to do something without asking you to replicate, without asking you to duplicate, without asking you to reinvent the wheel, but bring your knowledge, experience, and gather and find collaborators. Because in systems thinking, and that is something I believe in very strongly. And Idobro, in fact, is a systems thinking model 17 years ago, not now, because now it's a fad, but 17 years ago, that to create a new system, okay, you can't change the existing one. You can create a new system so that you attract people who care about it, so that the old one will naturally die and allow the new one to flourish. That's a very big thing in systems thinking that we believe in, which is very difficult for most people to think about, because the feeling is it should be, a way to just change what something is. That's what we're used to. But incremental change doesn't get you anywhere. You need transformative change. And that requires a totally different structure. So I'll stop there. Thank you.
If I may just quickly, before anyone speaks, Karen, you see all three of us smiling here, and that is our biggest learning or partnership, which has sustained us in a way, has been with FES India. And I can never say the whole thing, so I'll say, but the TCM method they introduced to us, which was transformative change making. And the transformative allies are the key people. And I think if you're aware of the system,
Yes,
is that it's not the people who are like-minded that needs to change. It is the other side. And I'm putting it very mildly and simply, the other side.
Of
It
course.
is if you can get the person you always think as your antagonist or on the opposite side,
Yes.
to see your perspective, then
Yeah.
that is change making. And I think that's a challenge with our cities today. And if we can really, and I loved what you said about a dialogue for commitment and contribution. And yeah, we will definitely try to do that with you.
Sure.
And yeah.
Awesome.
And yeah. So over to the floor is open, I guess, for all of us to just respond and
For any
exchange.
questions, anyone wants to reflect or mention?
And maybe
Even
we can take the
Kamaya and
spotlight
Vikram
off three of us.
Sorry, I was just going to say if Kamaya and Vikram want to respond to the platform, it'd be great to understand that as well.
It has been actually to me. It has. It's after we do have these conversations on and off, but amongst three of us, and when we are for quite some time during the workshops also, it is we are so much into the workshop mode that this particular thing, this 1.5 hour has been really quite refreshing in that sense. So it is rejuvenated. It has sparked some new connects, new plugs. I'm sure this will go a long way. So
Yeah.
Awesome. Good. I'm glad. Yeah.
The platform was very interesting. I actually liked that it's quite nicely thought about. I like you have aspects like, if you don't want to have a longer commitment, even a shorter commitment on a birthday or something. So it gives you a start. And that start is very important. That first step becomes very critical and very important for each one of us.
Absolutely.
And a lot of people actually take time to take that first step. And once you've taken that first step, then you will have many hands who will pull you, in a nicer way.
Yeah.
Not like pull you down.
Yeah,
But,
absolutely.
they will just hold your hand and they will get you through the whole process.
Correct.
And it just makes your journey then more interesting and more meaningful at the same time.
That's what the PicoNet is about, the next step, joining hands with people and come. So yeah, I mean, like I said, there's a lot of psychology. So the technology is one layer, the psychology is the other layer, and then strategy is the other.
Exactly. And individually also, anyone can be part of that platform. You don't need to have a certain kind of, as we started, Ajay mentioned that every time we come with our own backgrounds, right? We are an engineer, architect, educator, and so and so. But here as an individual and want to do something for the larger good, can always be a part through the Pico platforms. That is what I believe.
So now I'm smiling. Why? Because we have the line saying beyond legal identities, it's not who you are, but what you're prepared to do that matters.
Yes.
And that is why we don't have anything to say government, industry, civil society, academia. It's just that it's only the three personas: partner, entrepreneur, and citizen. That's it. We are one of these three, and these are the three kinds of people that are required for change.
Yeah.
Great. Awesome. Okay. Thank you all very much. We do need to wrap up. Otherwise, we are going to be closing. Unless there's anybody else who wants to say one last word, maybe we can bring that in. Otherwise,
maybe the spotlight can go off the three of us and we can see.
Karen, I just want to say that when you sent the mail, I mean, it came out of the blue to my mail box. And I was interested in understanding what is this PICO. And I went in and I did the persona test because I'm from HR OB background as well. And that's how I got hooked on. So I think you're doing a great job. I mean,
thank you so much. But ma'am, you've definitely then attended before because the email has only gone out to people who know.
Maybe I have.
Yeah,
but,
you may not have realized it, but yeah, because we have had no time to do anything. We have put all this together in less than 40 days.
Okay, so I must have attended, but I went into it now to see what it was all.
Very nice. Thank you so much. Thank you. So appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you all. I mean, it was really amazing session and the wonderful discussion we had. It was really, fantastic to hear how a friendship can change the whole perspective of doing action and bringing everything together to co-own the change. And that's what we all are trying to bring that change in our society, right? So it's a perfect and amazing. And thank you guys once again. Thank you, Ajay. Thank you, Kemya. Thank you, Vikramji, and the other speakers as well.